Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at a triple legacy Pokemon, Legacy Seaking. I think this is actually the only Pokemon that actually wants a triple legacy moveset. I think the closest otherwise would be Charizard with a double legacy moveset, but still Dragon Claw is something that it always learns. But yeah, Seaking needs 3 Elite TMs. Elite Fast TM to get Poison Jab, Elite Charge TM to get both Adrenaline as well as Icy Wind. But this Pokemon was honestly so much fun, especially as this is a water type, a pure water type that is really decent against grass type Pokemon in the meta where it's basically water, grass and fairy is kinda nowhere to be seen. It is very decent for a water type Pokemon to be a bait for grass types, and we definitely need a bait for grass types because in the back we're going to have a Lantern, a Pokemon that is great against a lot of water type Pokemon, but definitely not so great against most of the current grass types. Here we see Blizzard Whiscash, a Pokemon that I wanted to try out actually in the Open Great League. I actually expected that they would run Blizzard here because, again, it's a grass type meta, so like it is better to go for that instead of the Scald, especially as you don't really need Scald against any Pokemon in this matchup currently. So definitely something I was expecting, but still kind of cool to see. Here we're still gonna see though that our Lantern is going to be great against the opponent. They are actually gonna make a huge mistake here with going for the Weather Ball, as this is going to be resisted damage. They can still reach another charge move, which I'm going to actually shield up. Think I would still survive a move here, but we will be able to just go straight for the Thunderbolt. I think I still would be able to reach another one anyway, but it doesn't matter. They're going to die with 2 shields here and we can move on to the next opponent. Here is one issue for this team. It is going to be Roserade. Roserade is really difficult to deal with, and we're gonna get completely walled here as well, but honestly this is the cool thing about our Seaking. We still have coverage against basically any Pokemon in this meta. Like, this thing is like so versatile, it is mad. We could actually force a shield from the opponent if we wanted to, but we don't do this here. We're gonna decide to go ahead and go into our Lantern, because again, there's a Roserade lurking in the back with a lot of energy, and this can be very scary for us, and we're gonna leave our shields for something like our abomasnow. But let's see what's coming back in. It's going to be the Roserade. I can go straight for the Thunderbolt, which would force a shield usually, but they let this move go through, and so I can use a shield and just farm them all the way down while maintaining a ton of energy on my abomasnow, but they have in the back a Golisopod. This thing is scary. We can go for a bait here. Did not work out, but we don't really care too much about if it's working out or not, because we cannot just want to spam our moves. They're gonna decide to go for another shield here, and so we can actually reach 2 Weather Balls as well that are going to land here against them, because they're definitely not going to use a shield here. Never mind, they're actually shielding up 2 Weather Balls against us. We are forced to hope that we can survive an Exile. We do survive it, but we have to reach a Surf in time. Can we do this? It's going to be a CMP tie. Do we survive this move here? Because actually it always does 1 damage. We barely survive. We must have literally 1 HP here right now, and this is going to be it. We're gonna still be able to win this one. We can move on to the next opponent. Next one, we're going to have again a pretty bad lead, but again our Seaking is pretty decent. Great swap by the opponent. Like, honestly, I have not seen a faster swap than this. Like, that was absolutely wild. Like, they swapped basically perfectly. But yeah, we're going to still be able to at least get a little bit of damage onto them. I can actually use a shield here as well against the Thunderbolt and force a shield with the Icy Wind or Realignment. And Realignment would be really great for us. They decide to let this move go through, and so I can align my Lantern later on. But sadly, they're going to have a Roserade in the back, and this Roserade is going to be a little bit of a trickier one to deal with, because yeah, they have most likely something like Grassland or whatever in the back. I should have went for a Weather Ball here earlier. I should have went for it a little bit earlier, because now the opponent is going to still have 2 shields left. My only hope is that I can farm them all the way down and they don't go for a charge move in time. They cannot reach it in time, which is amazing, and so we will be able to reach a Surf. This is going to force the shield against the opponent as well. We have a great matchup here with Lantern. Like, this is literally the best matchup that we could have for Lantern, but still, of course, Hydro Cannon, even though it's resisted, is doing a ton of damage. Can we still win this game? We have to hope that they're going to not call this bait here. Let's see. They decide to let this move go through. Great play by them, but Spark is adding up. Can we actually still win this game? Can we survive this? We can survive this, and it's going to be a tie. Next opponent, we're going to have an opponent in the lead again. Like, honestly, like, we didn't have great matchups at all for us, but here we see the beauty of Seaking. We're going to have the matchup against Tropius. They cannot take an Icy Wind. We do super effective damage with our Faust move and double super effective damage with Icy Wind, and Seaking is just going to town here. Look at him swimming around, having a great time, being super happy, being able to reach another move, and this will force the knockout against them. And this is so beautiful because now we can realign, and realignment is so important for this matchup. In comes the Empoleon. They will be able to knock us out here because we're actually not really the bulkiest Pokemon, we have to say. Like, honestly, like, a Drill Run or like a Drill Peck here, not a Drill Run, Drill Peck. Drill Run on Empoleon would be cool as well, but yeah, Drill Peck still does a ton of damage. Here we will see the matchup against the Roserade again. Again, Roserade is kind of a pain for this team just because the fast move is super effective against our lead here. But as you can see, the Weather Ball is going to knock them out, and I'm forced to go for my own Weather Ball in order to knock them out. While they are not going to use a shield here, which is smart, it's still going to do some decent damage, and with the spark damage adding up and us still having a full HP Lantern in the back, this game is over. They cannot 2-shot me or 3-shot me. I think 3-shot they might be able to do, but I think actually they would not even be able to do this. But yeah, we're going to be able to just farm them down and win this game. Next opponent, we're going to have a great lead here, and I kind of want to talk a little bit about this matchup, because maybe this is even this matchup as well. I don't know, like, how many battles went in there. I think I did like 3 sets with this team. Team was amazing. I can highly recommend you to try to copy this one, especially like the combination between Lantern and the abomasnow. I think this is actually the game where my opponent plays this matchup so well, because like I kind of forced to use a shield here. I guess I could have no shielded and just hoped and prayed, because like basically I would be able to win the 0 shield scenario even if they're going to use like 2 shields or whatever. Like if they only use 1 shield, basically you're still going to be able to win it without using a shield itself. But over a long period of time, basically your abomasnow is just going to go lower and lower, which is really awkward for the matchup against Lantern. And so I would actually recommend you, if you have a good one, maybe go for the like non-shadow variant of abomasnow. I think this is actually better for this team to go for the non-shadow variant, because a lot of times I was actually kind of missing the bulk of this Pokemon. So maybe non-shadow might be better for you. Here I decided to go for the Weather Ball to try to bait them. And honestly, if we would have been able to reach this energy ball, we would have been definitely in a good spot. But again, like, we're a little bit too low now. And I feel like here again, for example, this would be a matchup where it would have been better for a non-shadow variant of the abomasnow. Next opponent, we're going to have another Lantern in the lead, but they swap out immediately into the Tentacruel, which is amazing for us. We have to be a little bit careful here, actually, because some people nowadays are running Sludge Wave as a Say Swap, which can actually flip the matchup against Lantern if they are smart with it. But I feel like actually for this kind of meta, the Shadow variant of Tentacruel might be even a little bit better to play. Yeah, we will still use a shield actually exactly against the Scald, because I kind of was worried that maybe they would put us into farmland range, and I definitely want to realign my Pokemon. So we're gonna be able to still farm them down. I still should be able to reach 1 Thunderbolt in time against the opponent here, but they're gonna get a ton of energy, which can be a little bit scary later on, but at least we're gonna put them into range now for a Drill Run as well. So maybe even the Seaking might have some play later on as well here, and we're gonna see that the opponent has in the back a Shadow Shiny Mawile, very cool Pokemon, but it will not help them against our Seaking. We can just go for the Drill Run. We don't really care too much about what the opponent really tries to do here. I can use a shield. It's going to be the Iron Head as well, which is great for us. So we're just gonna go for the not full farm, of course, but we can overfarm by a little bit. They actually still got to the Power Punch, which is not really too scary. Again, like, it's not gonna do too much damage, just a Power Punch. But I thought of actually undercharging this first. It does not really make it like any difference really, but I can actually still reach another Drill Run here. And so Seaking is actually gonna be able to just completely sweep the opponent's team and win this game. Next one, abomasnow against the abomasnow. You're forced to stay in here, but maybe eventually you kind of want to swap into your Seaking just to basically catch a Weather Ball. This would be great, but also because we win the CMP tie, it can be kind of likely that they want to swap out as well at the same time. And here we're gonna get out the Poliwrath, which I would rather had against our other Pokemon in the back here, of course. And yeah, they actually call a bait here, which is really annoying. I was really expecting that they would use a shield against a potential Drill Run. Of course, now we're gonna go for the Drill Run, which forces either the knockout or the shield. We're gonna get the shield, but it's kind of unfortunate because, like, this matchup could have been way easier for me if I just went straight for the drill run. I would have been able to just farm them down and had a great time. But yeah, it is what is really annoying because I'm still have to use a shield here against another dynamic punch from the opponent. In comes their own lantern, which makes this a little bit scary. But at least I can still go for some own Thunderbolts. Those going to two-shot them, and I have a little bit of an energy lead, which is very, very beneficial for me later on as well. Let's see what they're going to try to do here. They decide to go for their own Thunderbolt. I can go for my Thunderbolt, and it's still not over though. It's still going to be a little bit of a closer one as we can swap out, and they decide to go for their own charge move. I expect that they're going to swap out now. They have a Weather Ball stored, so you see me spamming my Weather Ball here, and this was the right decision as they swapped out immediately into their own abomasnow, catching this Weather Ball, knocking them out, and now in comes the lantern, and we can still reach that energy ball in time, which is great for us, securing the victory, and we can move on into the next battle. Great lead again, like a lot of lantern leads for me. I have to say this, like I think I had like 4 or 5 lantern leads, which of course helps the team out quite a bit if you play it right. So definitely one beneficial point for this one. You can also, by the way, run Icy Wind in the lead if you want to, but I feel like in this current meta, it's just better to go for something like Weather Ball because it's going to help you out with matchups like Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn is very tricky for this team. Ferrothorn can break this team, but with a Weather Ball, especially with a Shadow bonus, you can actually, I think, win this in the 2-shield scenario all the time against the Ferrothorn, so that's definitely going to be fine. Here we will see the matchup against Lantern. They're still forced to go for their own Thunderbolt, otherwise they don't knock me out. And so they're going to be able to swap out now. They have a Mawile in the back, or staying in for a little bit too long. And I make a little bit of a risky play here. I'm going to decide to go for the Icy Wind, which is okay for us. But yeah, they decide to use a shield anyway, so it's not really the riskiest of them all. So now they're going to have debuffed and resisted damage against us. They don't even go for the power pinch bait. They're just going to go straight for the Iron Head. And with this, we can just go for the drill run. Like, there's nothing the opponent can do here anymore. They decide to use a shield. It does not matter. We're going to just completely hardwall them. But apparently, Lantern plus Mawile seems to be solid together. But yeah, maybe I'm going to take a look at this Pokemon eventually as well for this cup. Drill Run is coming through, you're going to take the knockout, and we can see that they're of course having the Lantern still, which we can farm down. But we can now move on to the next one. Empoleon here. Empoleon again is a little bit of a tricky one, but we can swap out, and they swap out just a tiny bit too fast for me. If they allow you to get 2 fast moves in, I think you outspeed them to the second Icy Wind, and this is really important. And so that's a little bit tricky that we don't have this luxury here. So the opponent like swapped out a little bit too early for us, which is great for them, but really bad for us because now they can get the CMP tie here. And yeah, basically I would have not been able to realign no matter what, but like this at least I can try to get up to another energy ball. This should only be a seed bomb. It is just a seed bomb, and so I can swap out, and maybe they're still locked in for a little bit against us. Let's see if this is going to be the case. They are, yeah, I mean, at least I got like 2 fast moves in here. In comes the Roserade, and I have to say this opponent made like crazy plays anyway. Like the swap out was already super fast, but look at this as well. They make a great play, which I did not really expect that they would be able to do this. They're gonna go up to 1 Grass Knot, but not only this, they actually already have the Weather Ball stored, and with this they force my shield, and so they can win this game. If they went for like just like 1 less fast move, I would have been able to just knock them out. Here, go for the Energy Ball, knock out the Empoleon, but because they played this so perfectly, they can just barely outspeed me, and so this is going to be sadly a loss, but really well played by the opponent. Like, shouts to you, really well played, good game there, you deserve this win for sure. Next one, we're going to have here the Elite of abomasnow against abomasnow. This time around, I decided to swap out. Again, it's going to be resisted damage, and also we're going to do super effective damage against them. In comes the Poliwrath. I'm fine with this. I can just go for the Drill Run, and they're still forced to use a shield or like go ahead and go for their own charge move as well, which is going to be great because they cannot farm us all the way down. This is going to be most likely just the Icy Wind, which is fine, but we got the shield advantage, and also we were able to catch moves, so that's totally okay for me. I'm gonna use the shield here as well, but it turns out that they're running Scald instead of Dynamic Punch, which I don't really understand. Maybe this trainer doesn't have any TMs because, like, honestly, Scald has nowhere to go in this meta. Like, I don't even think there's a single Pokemon that's weak to Scald. So, I don't know, like, I feel like Dynamic Punch is, like, so much better right now for at least this meta instead of the Scald. But here we'll see the Weather Ball coming through, doing some decent damage. This game is still going to be a little bit of a trickier one. Let's see, we can go for our own Weather Ball. This is going to get the shield from them as we can try to go for another one, but they catch it on the Lantern. it actually doesn't really matter that they caught this because we would have not been able to reach the energy ball in time, so it is what it is. But this actually gonna put them into range where I can just go for 2 thunderbolts and knock them out with it, which wouldn't done without the weather ball. And so this is going to be it for this Lantern. It was a CMP tile which we win as well, which is great. And let's see if we can still win this game against the opponent's abomasnow. It is going to be close. I'm not calling it bait. I'm just going to go ahead and use a shield, and it was sadly a bait, but we are actually losing by 1 HP and a lost CMP tie. What a day. But yeah, this team was amazing. Honestly, can recommend to you. Climbed up a little bit. But yeah, this continued for this one. Hope you enjoyed this one. And if you did, feel free to leave a like. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.